Hi guys, this is Mike from Scale Trains again. Joe, Paul, and I are down here at the California Southern Model Railroad Club once again, and we're taking a closer look at our SD40-2 rivet counter models. We're going to have Paul give you a really close-up guided tour. He's also going to correct some things that I misspoke about in the previous video on the Southern SD40-2s, so be sure and pay close attention to that one in particular. But I'm going to hand it off to Paul and let him give you a tour.
Hey everybody, this is Paul from Scale Trains, and here we are taking a look and listen to our BN rivet counter SD40-2s. Two different units we have here, both slightly different in the details. First off, let's take a look and listen at BN 8014. It's going to have the EMD 16645 turbocharged prime mover, without the silence exhaust or Q fans. Let's take a listen to the startup. Alright, and here it's settled into idle. And let's take a listen to the bell, which is an underframe mounted standard EMD steel bell. Okay, and up front we have the standard upper mounted headlights on the number board housing. LED lit along with the number boards. Another unique feature to this particular series of BN units, they are equipped with Federal Standard flashing rotary beacons, which is up on the number board housing, also illuminated by LEDs. Nice effect there, it simulates the rotating bulb and reflector assembly. And these units are also equipped with 3-chime RS3K horns. And like other SD40-2s in this era, they're also equipped with class lights, and you can cycle through the colors on them: white, green, and red. And one more time, it turns them off. Alright, other unit we have right behind there is BN 7068. It's going to have the same basic sounds as the 8014 and fire up the prime mover. Alright, there goes settled into idle. Again, it's got a standard EMD underframe mounted steel bell. Headlights up on the number board housing. LED illuminated as always, along with the number boards. And this particular unit is equipped with a prime Stratolite PM8911 beacon. It's a digital beacon that these units were equipped with later in their lives. See, it's a different flash rate compared to the 8014, or excuse me, different flash pattern. Prime Stratolites had 4 bulbs arrayed and they flash in a sequence. No moving parts. And again, we have a 3-chime RS3K horn. And lastly, the class lights. White, green, and the button press will take them to red, and one more, turn them off. Alright, we can see the rear of the long hoods on both of these BN SD40-2s, showing off the LED illuminated class lights and number boards. And let's take a look at the class lights. There we go, white, the green, and another button click will take them to red, and one more click will turn them off. Here we see the many distinctive details on the front end of our Burlington Northern Rivet Counter Series EMD SD40-2 locomotives. Representing prototypes built only a few months apart, they exhibit differences not only as a result of being from different orders, but also as a result of changes made after years of service. BN 8014 represents a unit from Series BN 8009 through 8029, built in March of 1978, which were equipped with wheel-type handbrakes. We have replicated how it would have looked shortly after being built, with a Federal Standard rotary warning beacon on the cab roof, a single Motorola ASP16 firecracker communications antenna, and a tall wind wing ahead of the cab side windows. In comparison, BN 7068, which came from Series BN 7063-7074, built in July 1978, were equipped with ratchet-type handbrakes, featuring the straight chain guard common to units built in that time frame. This particular unit is a detail to represent how it would have appeared later in its career, from roughly the mid-1980s into the early 1990s. You'll notice that as beacon has been changed to a prime Stratolite PM-8911 solid-state beacon common to BN units of that era, which eliminated maintenance of the moving parts as well as electrical motor noise common in the Federal Standard beacons that could interfere with radio signals. Also, a small stub-type antenna has been added to the cab roof immediately next to the beacon for EOT radio telemetry, reflecting a unit re-equipped for service in a cabloseless era. Additionally, this unit has also had its tall cab-side wind wings replaced with a small rear-view mirror, which is common BN practice during that time frame. Both units exhibit options being specified when they were built, such as the large front anti-climber on the front pilot, as well as the BN-style battery box doors. While most railroads' SD40-2s came with bolt-on style battery doors in the late 1970s, BN specified hinged, latch doors in most of their EMD power, which we have replicated on these models. The dual fuel fillers, designed to give compatibility between the two different types of fuel nozzle fillings used in the industry, are also present. Another very subtle detail are the class lights. On the front of the nose, BN specified standoff style class lights with lamp housings that protruded from the surface of the nose. On the rear, however, they were equipped with flush style housings with lamp housings that were flush with the end of the hood and secured to the rotary gasket. All these have been faithfully replicated on our models. Other distinct details visible include the late-style jacking pads common to EMD production when these units were built, as well as the welded-on style ECAFB, or electrical cabinet air filter box, immediately behind the cab. Another subtle detail never captured before in plastic SD40-2s are the EFCO, or emergency fuel cutoff button housing details on the side sills, immediately after the fuel fillers. SD40-2 production either flush-style EFCO button housings, or as seen on these BN units, tab-style EFCO button housings, which protruded below the bottom of the side sills. All these details are just part of the links we go to in order to create the most accurate models in the industry. And here's a look at the long hood ends of the ScaleTrains.com Rivet Counter BN SD40-2s, showing off the standard 48-inch radiator fans with fine fan blade detail and etched see-through grills, flush-mounted class light housings, and the MU receptacles mounted to the rear pilot face. Also notable are the BN-style MU hose catch pockets mounted to the lower edge of the pilot face. Also notice the finely printed equipment truss plate adjacent to the corner step well, which is legible under magnification. And speaking of steps, the corner steps are all see-through. The same goes for the steps on the battery boxes and sub-base leading up to the cab as well. Finally, we'll take a nice broadside look at the new ScaleTrains.com Rivet Counter BN SD40-2s. The standard range dynamic brake housing with separately applied standard exhaust stacks and rectangular engine compartment vents show up clearly here. The rear decks also feature separately applied, fixed style drop steps. These etched parts feature fine tread plate detail and represent permanently fixed, non-foldable drop steps, as optioned by BN on these units. Additionally, the finely rendered and sectioned walkway tread plate is visible, which we based upon prototype measurements. You'll have to see it up close to appreciate the exquisite molding of this important detail.
Well, now that you've had a chance to take a closer look at our SD40-2 models in our rivet counter line, we hope that you can see the difference. For more information, you can always follow us on Facebook or check out our webpage at www.scaletrains.com. Thanks again for watching.